There are teams already doing Black Friday sales for playoff tickets. There are some the league is afraid that there are some teams' games where you could get into the playoff game for $6. That is how low some of these ratings might be and how low some of these ticket prices might be. Let's get into it. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification. Let's go. WNBA is in a frenzy right.
Indiana Fever playoff tickets are going for just $9, cheaper than a Chipotle burrito with extra guac. And this isn't for some faraway nosebleed spot either. It's actual playoff basketball in the WNBA, where fans can get in for less than the cost of a McDonald's lunch.
The WNBA is in a panic right now. The WNBA higher-ups are panicking. They don't know what's going to happen. I already let y'all know. I showed y'all the numbers that they was concerned about the playoff ratings and what they will be for the networks. They're concerned about it already. No Caitlin Clark here to carry everybody. They don't know how these numbers are going to look. Tickets are they're already doing Black Friday sales for playoff tickets. There are teams already doing Black Friday sales for playoff tickets.
But here's the kicker. Caitlin Clark isn't on the floor. She's on the sidelines in street clothes. And with her absence, the entire basketball world feels like it's been turned upside down.
$9. This is the cheapest it's been to get into an Indiana Fever game all year. This is actually the cheapest it's been. Look, I still think it's going to be nearly a sellout because I'm sorry, if I lived anywhere near Indiana, if it was 10 quid, I'd go to the game. I'd go to the game. I'd absolutely go to the game. I don't care. I'll pay $10. It's cheaper to be in the arena watching the game than it is to sit at home. Probably more expensive than it would cost to go to pay for one game on Fever Direct, I'd say, if that's
The Indiana Fever, a team that once sold tickets for hundreds and even thousands of dollars when their superstar point guard was healthy, is now practically handing out playoff seats like unwanted Halloween candy.
Understandable in this era to figure that tickets for playoff games are more expensive than the regular season, but Fever tickets for Tuesday night remain very affordable. $12, $13. I don't know what they're going to lie about as far as attendance goes. We're going to get into that momentarily. There are tons of tickets, hundreds of tickets available, if not thousands of tickets still available for tonight's game at a cheap price of a hoagie sandwich and a bag of chips from Wawa. You know, during Hoagie Fest, nonetheless. A hoagie and a bag of chips from Wawa. You can get into Gainesbridge Arena.
We're talking about a franchise that, with Caitlin Clark in the lineup, was charging anywhere from $670 to over $4,000 just for fans to be in the same building as their generational star. But now you can grab a ticket with pocket change and still have money left over for parking.
WNBA is in a frenzy right now. The cash cow is not available to play. The Golden Goose is not available right now. That is Caitlin Clark. So now everyone has to get their numbers on their own. We saw Caitlin Clark bring in a whopping 1.8 million viewers for her first playoff game versus the Connecticut Sun last season. That was more than all of the other playoff games that was played that day combined. More than all of the other playoff games played that day combined. WNBA's in panic.
If you're enjoying this, make sure to subscribe. Let's be real. When Caitlin Clark was on the court, Indiana Fever tickets were the hottest ticket in all of sports, not just basketball. She was single-handedly driving 26.5% of the entire WNBA's economic activity, creating nearly $1 billion in impact. $1 billion with a B, which is more than the GDP of some small countries.
Here, the cheapest ticket available to see the Indiana Fever at the Connecticut Sun in the first round of the 2024 WNBA playoffs, $133. Let's just say it's not near that expensive this year. It's not. So right there, Indiana Fever just had Caitlin Clark cut a WWE promo. I'm waiting for CM Punk to run out of the tunnel. There's Mr. Punk right there.
But now ticket prices are so low they make a dollar menu look pricey, with the cheapest playoff seats at $9 and courtside going for just $200, the kind of price you'd expect for a high school game. The contrast is striking and shows exactly what this league depends on. When Caitlin Clark was healthy, draining logo threes and dishing no-look passes, Fever games averaged over 17,000 fans at home, more than the city's NBA team, and road games were being shifted to bigger arenas to handle demand. The Washington Mystics moved from their 4,200-seat arena to a 14,000-seat venue, and the Chicago Sky left their 10,400-seat arena for the 20,000-plus United Center. That's the Caitlin Clark effect in full force.
You can get courtside seats for $200. It is $200 to go sit courtside. Second row courtside behind the basket is $200. 1 to 3 tickets. It is $200 to sit courtside this game. This is in fact the cheapest. It is cheaper to go to this Fever game. This is the cheapest it's been to get into the Fever all year. Why? Why is it the cheapest? Because, well, you see, these tickets went on sale after the Indiana Fever announced Caitlin Clark was going to be injured.
But here's where it gets wild. On September 4th, Caitlin Clark announced she wouldn't return for the rest of the season, including the playoffs, because of a lingering groin injury, and instantly the entire vibe around Indiana Fever basketball shifted. The team that had been setting franchise records for wins and road victories suddenly became an afterthought. Their September 16th playoff game, the first home postseason appearance since 2016, should have been a celebration, but instead it turned into a case study in how one player can single-handedly carry not just a team, but the relevance of an entire league. Fans who once would have paid anything to see Clark play are now scrolling past $9 tickets like they're expired coupons.
The Indiana Fever posted a video of Caitlin Clark talking was almost a month ago, but they know who they need to post when it's time to sell tickets. Damn! Putting CC front and center only when it's time to sell tickets. Oh boy. Oh boy. And we're talking about the tickets, folks. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I'm just a lonely messenger. That's it. Look at these ticket prices. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. Look at these ticket prices. $13, $12, $55 for section 100. $27, $147 for section 5, $55 for section 19, $330 for courtside seats. Oh.
This isn't just about the Indiana Fever. It's about the WNBA looking in the mirror and seeing exactly what it is without its biggest star. Caitlin Clark's absence impacts far more than ticket sales. It's a seismic shock that hits TV ratings, merchandise, and overall interest in the league. All season long, every time Clark missed games, the fallout was immediate and brutal. When she sat out 5 games earlier in the year, WNBA viewership dropped 55%, with million-viewer broadcasts suddenly struggling to reach 350,000. The All-Star Game, where Clark was supposed to captain a team, saw ratings sink 36% when she couldn't play. It's like going to a concert where the headliner doesn't show, and fans suddenly realize they never cared about the opening acts. Harsh, maybe, but the empty seats and rock-bottom ticket prices don't lie.
We're expecting the entire viewership of the entire WNBA to be down. And this tweet from Christine Brennan really stuck out to me. She said one player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears. Has any other athlete ever had that kind of impact on a sport? Golf without Tiger definitely dropped precipitously on occasion, but not like this. This news is alarming for the league, and it's alarming for the league because this is such a crucial year for the WNBA.
Here's where it gets both interesting and sad for Indiana. The Fever built their entire identity around being Caitlin Clark's team. Drafted first overall, the offense was tailored to her skill set, and overnight the franchise went from a WNBA afterthought to must-see TV. Clark didn't just raise their play on the court, she raised the entire brand. Now, without her, the Fever are trying to sell fans on Kelsey Mitchell's 20.2 points per game and Aaliyah Boston's strong inside presence. And while both are talented players who deserve credit, the market is screaming back with $9 tickets. The same fans who camped outside arenas just to watch Clark warm up are now treating playoff basketball like a random Tuesday at Chuck E. Cheese. This season should have been a celebration. 24 wins, 10 road victories, and back-to-back playoff appearances for the first time since 2015-16. But instead it feels more like a wake for what could have been.
They're already doing deals. Like they're trying to give you a free tire change. They're trying to give you a free car wash and all types of stuff to get out to these games. This is wild. Look at how empty this arena is. Look at how empty it is. The cheapest ticket, $6. Yeah, I could spot a nickel on the floor right there, row 2, section D1.
But let's zoom out, because this situation exposes an uncomfortable truth the WNBA it doesn't want to admit. They need Caitlin Clark more than they've ever needed any player. This isn't like LeBron leaving Cleveland. This is realizing your entire business model rests on a 23-year-old point guard who can't stay healthy. The league's explosive growth in 2024 was driven almost entirely by Clark, who brought eyeballs, packed arenas, and mainstream attention the WNBA had never seen before. Attendance jumped 48% from 2023, with 154 sellouts, and the average crowd rose from 6,615 to nearly 10,000. TV ratings smashed records across multiple networks. But now we're seeing the flip side. When your league's success revolves around one player, what happens when that player can't take the floor? The answer is right there in those $9 playoff tickets.
Caitlin Clark was first. You know what would have also put asses in seats? Indiana Fever clearing Caitlin Clark to play the game of basketball. That would have done it. I promise you. I promise you that would have done it. Again, I believe we deserve to know who ordered the code red. It's a lot different if it is Caitlin Clark and her people believe that, and her medical team believe that she could not play. If it was Stephanie White in the Indiana Fever, I believe that changes everything.
The timing of Caitlin Clark's injury couldn't be worse for the WNBA. The league is in the middle of a major expansion, with new teams on the way and an 11-year, $2.2 billion media rights deal set to kick off in 2026. Player salaries are being renegotiated, corporate sponsors are pouring in, and everything was lining up for the WNBA to finally make the leap into being a major professional sports league. Then their biggest star, the player responsible for nearly 27% of the league's entire economic activity, went down right before the most important games of the season. It's like a restaurant earning its first Michelin star only for the head chef to call in sick on opening night. All the infrastructure, all the planning, all the hype, and the one ingredient that makes it special isn't there when it matters most.
Back and forth from all the WNBA players that the league is not just Caitlin Clark. Stop acting like the league is not just Caitlin Clark. There are other people who are doing things. So Caitlin Clark has been injured, so she hasn't been playing. Since Caitlin Clark went down, the WNBA ratings have dropped over 55%
Yikes.
across the board.
Hey, guess what, guys?
The league is Caitlin Clark.
The league is Caitlin Clark. She is the...
Perhaps the most revealing part of this situation is how quickly fans jumped ship. These weren't casual spectators. These were people who paid premium prices to see Caitlin Clark, traveled from Iowa to Indiana, bought the jerseys, and watched every game like clockwork. They were the backbone of the WNBA's recent rise. But once Clark was ruled out for the playoffs, they voted with their wallets. And the verdict was clear. No to $200 courtside seats, maybe to $9 general admission. This isn't a knock on the other players or the quality of basketball. It's just the harsh truth of pro sports. Fans don't buy into abstract competition. They connect with stars. They want to see greatness. And for the last 2 years, Caitlin Clark has embodied that greatness in women's basketball.
So, like a lot of people, I started following the WNBA, and I'm sorry, I hate to sound cliche, but it is because of Caitlin Clark. I flew my family to Indy to catch the game opener, and it was just such an amazing thing to see. We fell in love with the city. We, of course, also fell in love with the Pacers, and we followed every game since.
The Indiana Fever and the WNBA are learning a hard lesson about putting all their eggs in one basket. Caitlin Clark's injury has exposed just how dependent both the franchise and the league have become on her star power, and it's a stark reminder that building around one player, no matter how talented, is a risky business. For the Fever, it's a wake-up call about player management and injury prevention. Clark missed significant time in 2025 with multiple soft tissue injuries, and every absence instantly showed up in ticket sales, TV ratings, and fan interest. If she's going to be the face of the franchise, they need to do everything possible to keep her healthy. For the WNBA, this is proof they need more stars and storylines to carry the league when one player can't. The sharp drop in attendance and viewership every time Clark sits suggests the league's recent boom may not be as stable as it seemed. At the end of the day, those $9 playoff tickets tell the truth no spin can hide. The WNBA needs Caitlin Clark, and the Indiana Fever desperately need Caitlin Clark. Without her, playoff basketball in Indiana turns into a bargain bin afterthought. Is that unfair to the other talented players? Probably. But is it a reflection of how sports fandom really works? Absolutely. Fans don't just root for uniforms. They root for stars who capture their imagination and make them believe they're watching something special.
Superstar, from top to bottom. You never seen a woman shoot the ball like that or pass the ball like that. It has that fire. You downplay it, you diminish it, you try to kill it. You almost killed it, but thank God Caitlin Clark is a strong human being. But the fact that they're trying to replace her with someone subpar talent, subpar entertainment value is ridiculous, and try to give credit to those who don't really deserve credit and try to have players to be the face who aren't really the face. The one thing about the face of the league, it's not chosen by the league. It's chosen.
For the past 2 years, Caitlin Clark has been that rare spark for women's basketball, and her absence in these playoffs, underscored by historically low ticket prices, shows just how irreplaceable her star power really is. The WNBA struck gold with its golden goose, but now it's learning what happens when the goose can't fly. Those $9 tickets aren't just cheap seats. They're a brutal reminder that in pro sports, one player really can be the difference between must-see TV and background noise. Right now, without Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever playoffs have become the most affordable disappointment in professional sports. The real question isn't whether this is shocking. It's both shocking and sad. The question is what the WNBA and the Fever will do with this harsh lesson about the line between sustainable growth and unsustainable dependence. Because those empty seats at Gainbridge Fieldhouse are telling a story the league can't afford to ignore.